Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you found this video on your feed, it is possible that you were meant to hear this message today. If you're trying to manifest something into your life, if you're trying to attract something into your life, maybe you're struggling with it, or maybe you feel like there are delays and it's not coming in as quickly as you would like, I want to share with you some of my favorite tips on fast tracking your manifestations and attracting the things that you want into your life. And like I said, if you found this video on your feed, it could be that you attracted this into your life, and I think that's a good sign that you are on the right path to getting what you want, because if nothing else, it means that you are potentially in the right mindset for receiving what you are trying to manifest. The first thing I'm going to talk about is thought patterns. So this week I was feeling really stressed out and overwhelmed because I'm starting a new job, and I was telling my boyfriend how I was feeling, and he said, I think that no matter what the situation is, no matter what is going on in your life, you might always feel this way. And that really got me to thinking about my thought patterns. And you might have heard this before, but in the law of attraction community, there's this big idea that your thoughts lead to your reality, because your thoughts lead to your beliefs and your habits, and those create your 3D reality. So people are always saying how important your thoughts are and how you have to be super careful with your thoughts. And then there's other people who will be like, no, it's not just your thoughts, it's all about the emotions behind your thoughts. That's what actually drives manifestation. So you might have heard of these ideas before, and I want you to think about your thought patterns. And this is an idea that I read about in the book The Power of Now a really long time ago. And I love that book because all of the ideas in there go really well with manifestation. He explains it in a way that really resonates with you. And there are people who actually will read one page of that book every day, or one paragraph of that book every single day, because it's these amazing ideas that you can read about it once, or you can watch me talk about the idea once. But if you're not putting it to practice every single day, then you're gonna forget, like I did. But one of the ideas is basically to observe your thoughts and kind of observe your thought patterns, not necessarily to be like judgmental with yourself or your mind about how you think or the things that you think about, but just to create awareness of how you like to think, how your brain likes to think, what are your thought patterns. Because when you start to notice these patterns, it's going to help you dig deeper into the way that you have absorbed information throughout your life, into the things that have been ingrained into you. So for example, back to my little example, I get stressed out really easily and I tend to overthink a lot. And this is something that I've noticed when I observe my thought patterns. And why is that important? It's important because it's going to lead you to the shadow work that you need to be doing, and like the underlying issue behind that. So for me, I would think, okay, why do I overthink? Why am I always stressed out? It usually leads back to some form of childhood event. I'm not going to say trauma, I don't think it's that dramatic, but some kind of childhood event, or like maybe ideals that have been ingrained into you. And it usually leads back to some kind of fear that you might have. Maybe fear of not being good enough, maybe fear of not having enough, maybe fear that you're not going to accomplish as much as you possibly want in life. There are these fears that drive us, and without knowing it, they're going to drive your thought patterns, but your thought patterns will lead to behaviors and actions and beliefs that will manifest in your reality. So if you are looking to change your reality, it's really important that you start paying attention to your thought patterns. And again, I want you to be super kind and gentle with yourself and your thoughts and your mind. I don't want it to be some kind of like negative judgmental thing where you're judging yourself for the way that you think, or you're putting yourself down for how you think. That's super counterproductive. It's more about just kind of recognizing the pattern. When you see it, you're just like, there it is. And that will help you start to detach from it. It will help you let go of these patterns and create new positive patterns that's going to serve you. And the more you start to recognize these patterns, and the more you start to recognize like the false beliefs, the false underlying beliefs that they come from, the easier it is going to be for you to detach from them and let go, and create new positive thought patterns that will serve you and that will allow you to manifest the things that you actually want into your life. So for me, it was just taking a moment to kind of step back and realize, hey, that might be true. This might just be a thought pattern that I have that I need to let go of, because I know that things always work out in the end. No matter what the outcome is, things eventually always work themselves out. You know, even if something bad happens, you know, you go through a divorce, you go through a breakup, you get fired from your job, and it seems so horrible in the moment, right? But eventually things always work themselves out. You find a new partner, you remarry, you get a new job. So eventually things will work themselves out, and you need to kind of remind yourself to trust the process. And the next thing I want to talk about is being present. Again, this is another idea from the book of The Power of Now. And when I was reading it, I had a much easier time practicing being present and staying in the moment. But of course, since it's been a while, I completely forgot. And this is why I think it's so helpful if you were to read a page of the book every single day, or maybe have some kind of little reminder for yourself to stay present, because most people will chase after something their entire life, and they will go through life constantly looking for the next thing. I'm guilty of this too. But we're living life as if it's like a race till the end. And then when you interview older people who are at the end stage of their life, their number one advice or their number one regret is always like, oh, slow down, you know, enjoy your youth, enjoy your life, and just don't stress out so much about these things, because at the end of the day, none of it matters. That's always the advice when you watch those videos where they're interviewing older people and they're asking them, what's your biggest regret, or what is the biggest advice you would give to your younger self? So if you're like me and you're constantly thinking of the next thing, the next stage in your life, the next activity, the next phase of your life, and you're like stressing out about it or whatever, try to practice staying in the moment. I have little tricks that I will do. Again, it really helps when you start to recognize your thought patterns. If your mind is racing, if you're overthinking, it really helps to be able to say, oh, hey, I'm doing it again. And then take a step back and say, hey, just stay in the moment, just stay in the present moment. Doing that will take away so much of the stress and anxiety that you might have, because a lot of it is, again, fear-based. Maybe you're worried about the future, maybe you're worried that you're not good enough, you're worried that you're not going to get the things that you want. All these fears will create that stress and anxiety that's really very poisonous to your mind and to your manifestations. So staying in the present will really help you get rid of a lot of that anxiety that you're feeling. And my last tip for you is to trust that things will work out in their own time. Another example that I'll give you, when I don't get something that I want immediately, I get super anxious and stressed out about it, and I can't stop thinking about it because it's like all I want, right? And that's why it's so hard for people to let go or to detach from outcomes, because it becomes all consuming. You're like, when is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And it becomes very difficult to trust the process or trust the universe. If you're religious, you might find this step to be a little bit easier. It typically is easier to trust in a power that's bigger than yourself. But one of my favorite things to do is to just look back on a time where I've done this before. Look back on previous patterns of the past where I was stressed out, where I was anxious about getting something that I was trying to manifest, and all of the feelings and stress and emotional turmoil that it caused me. And then however it played out, if I ended up getting it in the end, but it was something different or something better than what I wanted, then I would always have this feeling of, okay, well, all of that stress was super useless and pointless and just a waste of my emotional energy. But then the next time I would do it again. So it helps to kind of think back on your old patterns and things that you've sort of accomplished in the past, and all of the feelings and turmoils that you maybe didn't need to have, because you still were going to get those things anyways. Okay, that's it for today's little short video. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with someone who might also find it to be impactful. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!